Ah, what a beautiful and warm time of year. Well, I've been building this thing for the past month. Made quite a lot of progress since you saw it last. I've been building up the frame and the roof of this bad boy, and I wanted to make this video now because I'm gonna begin to start putting on the metal roof on this thing. And I wanted to give a little breakdown of how the framing, the internal construction of this thing is done. Pretty proud of it so far. It's taken a lot of wood, a bit more than I expected. A lot of time, a lot of cutting, but I'm pretty happy with it so far. It's turning out good. So I'm gonna kind of walk through. Look at that big guy. Oh, I'm gonna kind of walk through how I went about the process after completing the floor. So with the floor down, I had all these 6x6 posts in place, and the next step was to put in these top pieces. I had to have some assistance with those because they're incredibly heavy, but they fit into a slot up there and I was able to screw them in place. So that provides a lot of structure to the thing. And then I got 3 of these 14-foot spanning 6x6s to go across, rather large timbers. And after that, I cut out all the braces, which are these diagonal going pieces, screwed those into place, and they will help quite a bit with structure and also aesthetics, as they'll be visible on the inside of this thing. They'll look pretty nice after they're stained and finished. And after that was complete, I started framing out the walls, and I'll kind of show you how that's done. So I had like a space, right? And I framed it out on the ground, fit it into place nice and tight, got a tight fit, and then I started putting in cross beams to make it sturdy and also to act as steps and stuff I can screw onto, and did that with all the walls except for one. Still have to do one of them. These walls here, they don't have any windows in them, but you get kind of the idea. So I got to frame out triangles for all these corners here, but that doesn't really matter right now. It's not a critical structural element. Framed out a window here. This is the only one I put a header on because it's the largest spanning wall, and there's going to be some downward pressure over that kind of span. I wouldn't expect a lot due to the 6x6 up here, but better to just do it, you know. So this is it's gonna be a nice view. I'm gonna clear out some of the trees back here, make it prettier. This will be where the kitchen is. And framed out another one there. I got these reused cabin windows that have a window that slides up into the frame, which is how they used to do them. Kind of an older one, and I really like them. And I framed out these triangle end trusses to fit in 2 of those, and I might put up some more wood going this way. I'll probably beef it up a little bit, you know, just so it's ultra sturdy. So yeah, I framed out these afterwards, and just the triangles, and then I had to lift them up on top of here and clamp and screw them into place. And then upon doing that, I had to put the ridge beam on, which you can see up there. It's a LVL plank, nice and long. Shit. 20-foot piece. And then when I had that in place, it was just cutting out these rafters, and had to make a template for each side because this side was just a hair longer. So yeah, I was cutting out those 30-something rafters later, collar ties. That's what these are. They tie them together at the top, nice and sturdy, and then they attach to the sill there. They also got the rafter ties, the hurricane clips for extra support. This board that I just slipped on is the first of the loft boards that I cut, because there's going to be a loft that goes in this back half. And probably work on that pretty soon too. It's gonna turn out great. Can't wait. But yeah, gonna put in joist hanger there and screw into the side, and that'll also help with the roof supports. So after doing the rafters, I think I better take a walk outside of this thing to show you where I went from there. This is the only wall that still hasn't been framed out, and it's mainly because it's easier to just walk in and out of that as opposed to walking through the doorway or whatever. Or maybe I'm just lazy and haven't done it yet. I don't know. But here's a look at the roof from above. I took these 2x4s and I spaced them apart probably about 9.5 inches in between. So 12 inches from here to here, all the way up. And that provided a nice sturdy, it's not sheathing, it's called skip sheathing, but it still ties the roof together really well against wind and snow and extra weight on here. So I'm climbing up right now. It's pretty steep, but it actually makes a good ladder, you know. Did this whole thing in my Crocs. And underneath it, I got this tar paper or rollout roof felt synthetic stuff, whatever you call it. And I overlapped it pretty thick. And I wanted to do that so that air could still flow through here, but any moisture that gets on the inside of the roof can just kind of bead down. And this is like a completely waterproof sort of deal. So it should be good for a while. I hope I don't regret doing it that way. And yeah, I made these dips and valleys in it down low so that more air can flow through and it has the ability to vent, because the ridge of this cabin is not going to be a vented ridge. But there are vents on the corners on the outsides. I'd have to show you. So there will be air flowing through the roof from underneath in the soffits and through the top corners of these ends here. And you know, it was a real joy doing this part. So I got these gable ends up, tied them to all the purlin ends sticking over, and I just did something there to, it's all going to be covered up with metal, so I'm not even going to see this. But structurally it should be fine. There's the vent that should let air in. And gonna put sheathing over all the walls, of course, obviously. And I think I can do that after the roof. It's fairly sturdy. Like, I can shake and rock and bounce in this roof all day, and you can feel a little bit of wobble, but that's what wood does. You know, it's a flexible thing. Like trees, they bend in the wind for a reason, because if they were rigid, they would snap. Speaking of trees, I got to cut that one down, that one down. They're kind of in the way. I'm not too worried about them falling or anything, but there's going to be solar panels on this side of the roof, and I want to get as much sunlight from here as possible. So it means these probably have to go too. These maples, you know, clear it up. All that can be a nice garden. It's going to look great. Just can't wait for it. But you know, every day trying to get something done, something or another. But I wanted to give a good view of how this thing looks before I start closing up the roof with metal and closing up the walls with sheeting, because it's getting pretty close to that stage, you know. I would say that, yeah, framing is probably 90% complete. It's looking great. Couldn't be happier. I'm gonna cut off all these, and make them flat. I got soffits. And you're not going to see any of the frame on the outside. It's just going to be sheathing. But on the inside, you're going to be able to see it. Not very much will be poking out, because I got this about, 2 inches gap here. And I'm going to be cutting boards with a sawmill to put on top of this on the inside. So it'll have a really nice rustic look. And then you're going to be able to see the face of this and a little edge poking out. So stain that dark and it'll look really nice. I'll probably put some caulking in here and fill this up and you know, make it look good and everything, and it'll have a good finished appearance when all is said and done. That's tedious secondary work, you know. I only have one big window for this whole thing, and that's the frame for it. But it's going to be nice, let in a lot of light. And out here, of course, there's going to be a porch and a deck built going out to here probably, and it's going to be covered. There'll be another roof coming out over it. That might happen this year, might happen next year. We'll just see what the weather's doing and how things go. Anyways, aside from all my piles of materials that have yet to go up, this thing has come quite a ways. I started this probably, 8 months ago. It was just raw land here, a bunch of trees, started burning right underneath the cabin there, just burning all the stuff around here. And this was the vision, you know, this is what I wanted it to look like, more or less. I'd say for my construction qualities and skills, like they're nothing super special, but for what I'm working with out here and working alone, it's turning out pretty darn good, so I'm happy with it. Anyways, there's a bit more to go, so till next time.